In this video, we're going to be talking about the 7 reasons people are moving to Richmond, Virginia. Make sure you stick around for the last one because you're not going to want to miss it. So Richmond is generally what you call the entire area, but it's made up of the city and then the whole metro area, which includes Henrico, Hanover, Chesterfield, and several other places around. So even though we refer to our area as Richmond, Virginia, the actual city of Richmond is only a small portion of it, and that's made up of about 230,000 people. However, as you go out into the other counties, to the metro area, which includes Henrico County, Chesterfield County, Hanover County, and a couple other counties, you're looking more at like 1.3 million people. So you can see where everybody lives. One of the main reasons people are coming to this area is because the median house price is still pretty affordable, right at about $350,000. Commute times in Richmond, Virginia are pretty nice, averaging right at about 21 minutes or less. The number 7 reason that people are moving to our city is the Rivah. That is R-I-V-A-H. You heard me right. And it's the James River. Our entire city in the Richmond, Virginia area centers around the James River. And there's a good reason why. It isn't that the James River is the most beautiful river that you are going to see no matter where you are in the world or in the country. That is certainly not the case, but it is a big one, and our city is completely centered around it, and so many activities and traditions and everything that anyone who lives in Richmond for any amount of time always remembers. So keep that in mind. On a hot day, I can think about everybody parking their cars and going over to Belle Isle, and you have all the different rocks that you'll see people sunbathing on, everybody will be walking and doing picnic, and all centered around the river. There is a place that I love so much, and it's called the Lily Pad, and it is on the river. The view isn't the greatest, I'll have to contend to that, but the food is amazing. And even though you're looking at kind of the one section of Richmond that you're seeing some smokestacks and what have you, there's just something fun about being on the river, eating food, listening to live music that I love. So definitely, if you ever have a chance, you gotta check out the Lily Pad for sure. Our river has a lot of different opportunities where people can get in and paddleboard, kayak, canoe, and that is what a lot of people are doing on the weekends and in their free time. And that's why things are so centered around the James River for sure. Another thing that's great is if you get around the Rockets Landing area, there are several different spots where you can buy or rent slips for boats so that you can go out in your gas-powered boats as well. So don't have to be just dealing with ones that are non-gas powered, lots of different opportunities there. Amazing spots throughout the Richmond area along the river where you can enjoy fireworks during the 4th of July. I can think of several different great ones that have been terrific. Another thing is there is just nothing more beautiful than right around the holidays when they're lighting everything up for the holidays and seeing how that reflects on the river as well. There is so much history in the city of Richmond that centers around the river, and you'll see that when you go into different spots. For instance, you're down in the Canal Walk where you can actually see the locks and channels where they would have been moving things around, and you can, when you're in the channels and you're looking around, you really can get a feel for how things used to be back in the day. I think it's so beautiful when you go into a city that it's centered around the river like Richmond is, and you see all of the old architecture against the new architecture, and so many of the old buildings that are being converted into new condos or office buildings, and how that kind of flows with the city. There's nothing that is more eclectic and cool than getting a skyline that is combined with the modern and the old. Ton of festivals that go on throughout the year, mostly in the warmer sections that are centered around the James River. And I encourage you, if you ever get a chance to enjoy some of those, you're going to not want to miss it. My favorite spots in Richmond where I can enjoy the river would be going to Hollywood Cemetery. And this is a spot in Richmond that I haven't talked much about before. And I'm not sure why, because everyone talks about this place. It's referred to in a lot of popular movies. I have several clients that are authors that refer to it in their books. And so finally, I went on a day trip with some of my ladies group to it, and now I understand why everybody loves it so much. And the views that you have of the river from a very different perspective than what you would normally do because you're so high up are just breathtaking. Again, is our river the most spectacular, beautiful one in comparison to a lot of ones throughout the world? No, it's still brown. We're on the East Coast. You know, there's a lot of sediment. We don't have rock salt at the bottom of things. It's definitely more sediment, muddy, and sand. However, the way it has all the big rocks in, which we do have a lot around here, and it breaks up with the rapids, absolutely beautiful. I love the James, particularly because it kind of introduced me to one of my now must-do everyday loves, which is paddleboarding. And the very first time I paddleboard was actually on the James River. We went out with River City Outfitters, which is a great company. They will actually take either your kayak, your canoe, or your paddleboard upriver and drop you off and then do a guided tour. In that particular one, it was actually with paddleboards. Now, I had never done it before. I was actually really nervous, particularly because we were going to be on the river. Rivers have a current. We have a couple rapids, not anything crazy, but when you've never done something before, you just don't know what to do. And I actually figured out that I absolutely loved it. Now, fast forward many years later, did I continue to do it? No, that was like the only time I had done it forever. But it just in the past year, I actually discovered paddle boarding, and I'm now doing it on my reservoir on a regular basis and using it to pick up trash and recyclables that are all over. So I am very thankful to the James River for introducing me to one of my now passions. So the sixth reason people move to the Richmond, Virginia area are the wonderful neighborhoods that are all along the river. And talking to you about a couple of them. Church Hill. Now, if no one has ever heard of Church Hill before, it actually is a very historic spot around the Church Hill and also the St. John's Church area. I'm sure many of you have heard of Patrick Henry and his famous speech that he gave. Well, that was actually done right there in Church Hill at St. John's Church. That's right there in the center of Richmond. Church Hill, not only does it have beautiful views of the river, in fact, all you gotta do is go straight up and go to Chimborazo Park. It is absolutely breathtaking, just the beautiful park that they have, and it actually tears down to the river, but you have like this panoramic view of the James, which is really, really awesome. But this particular section of Richmond has become super popular over the years, and beautiful, beautiful homes. Church Hill has there is a mix of some newer homes that have come up, but mostly it is older historic homes that were built late 1800s that have been remodeled and restored, and they are beautiful. And even ones that haven't been restored, people really just flock to them because it's a really cool area. So Rockets Landing is a really great neighborhood that is also right along the James River and a popular spot that people love. Always have live music going on. A lot of people will be out there on their boats as well, people walking along the trails, walking their dogs, fishing, playing with their kids. It's just a fun atmosphere for sure. Have many great memories too. I believe my daughter went to prom and we did pictures there, right there overlooking the river and right around those different restaurants. Another really popular spot that people love in Richmond would be Shaka Bottom. And there are some amazing eateries. As you notice, there's going to be a lot of things about food. Richmond is definitely a foodie city, and so many cool things there. Shaka Bottom, though, is just a cool place to check out because of several different restaurants. Me personally, maybe it's not fancy, but I love it. Bottoms Up Pizza is just delicious. And I love being down there, and they call it Shaka Bottom for a reason. I mean, it is down level right with the river. Definitely, Shaka Bottom isn't exactly the spot to be hanging out if you have any big storms that are coming through, because it is very low and it's pretty common for those things to flood. But oh my God, Bottoms Up Pizza is so terrific. Bookbinders is an awesome place to go down there. It's just fun to kind of walk or ride along the canal walk. You can even take a little guided tour where they take you along and kind of talk about the old days of how things were worked and how they would bring in supplies to and from Richmond right there through the canals and the canal walk. Some wonderful museums down there as well, great ones to check out. One in particular that I've gone back to several different times is the Holocaust Museum. Oh, and I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about Rockets Landing, about the Capitol Bike Trail. That's what, if anything, you're going to be doing along that way is riding bikes. My family in particular, we love when it's pretty outside to go rent electric bikes up Cool Wheels just a little way up, right off of the Capitol Trail, and then ride our bikes down into Richmond, and we stop right there at Rocket's Landing and have brunch. So all of the cool neighborhoods we've been talking about are kind of north of the James. Let's talk about things that are technically still in the city that are south of the James. And one that is really up and coming would be Manchester. This is a spot where you are seeing a lot of these older buildings and old factories that are being converted over into high-end, really cool loft condos. And you're just seeing this really eclectic, cool feel that you maybe would find in other places north of the river, say like in Churchill or Scott's Addition, or even Shockoe Bottom, Shockoe Slip. You're seeing those now coming over into Manchester, and probably Manchester, maybe a little bit more bang for your buck. The cool thing is you don't have to just be living in the true city setting or a city sort home or condo or townhouse, what have you. There are actually several different suburban neighborhoods that are along the river as well. I can think of a couple, Forest Hill, Westover Hills, Stratford Hills, Huguenot, just to name a few, just some beautiful, beautiful neighborhoods that center around that and have easy access to pony pastures, so you can get in with your kayak or paddleboard or your canoe and really enjoy nature that way. We have become, I would say, the microbrewery place to be, the city of microbreweries, and also a place for great wineries. You have an in-city winery, and then you have several different, actually, besides the breweries over in Scott's Addition, you also have cideries. I do like that. Some just really fun, yummy stuff that you can be checking out. And then some of the wineries, such as Shirley Plantation, which is actually in Charles City County, just outside of the city, but a really easy bike ride if you get your little electric bike or even a regular bike, and you can take the Capitol Trail right to it from the city. So another thing that's fun about the breweries all being around is they will center that around other things, activities. So for instance, some of the breweries that are down in Scott's Addition, they even have like a whole area where you like walk up and you like get all the different tests. They don't like just bring you the flights, like they have the things you can fill out completely, go back to your table, or go and play a bunch of arcade games, video games, all of that stuff. The number 4 reason just comes down to the old adage when it comes to any kind of real estate would be location, location, location. That is one of the main reasons that people are moving to Richmond, Virginia. In fact, I was reading a really great article recently about how many people from the DC metro area are moving down to Richmond just because of the affordability of housing in comparison to Northern Virginia. Our location is so prime. We are smack, we are Central Virginia, but we are smack in the middle of everything, and we are right there off of 95. We are connected right to 295, so that's going to be great for you skirting to the west to go towards the mountain, and also skirting towards the east to go towards the beach. So we are really smack in the middle. If you're in Richmond, Virginia, you can be in the mountains in a good hour and a half, and you can be to the beach in about an hour and a half to 2 hours. And then you can go up into DC in the same amount of time. I mean, you really have the best of all worlds being right here. But the awesome part about being so central is there are so many different ways to get everywhere. So you are not confined to the only way that you can get anywhere are your interstates. You have so many smaller and more rural secondary roads that can get you exactly there. So I love it in the summertime. If I want to go down to the Outer Banks, I don't have to get stuck on 64 inching down there on a Friday afternoon. I can absolutely just get on 460 and take the back way around, and it's so much more relaxing. And does it really take longer? Probably not, with how horrible the traffic can be as you get closer to the beach. Same thing as you get into the fall time frame. Sure, is it easiest to take 64 out to the mountains? Of course, but there's so many different secondary roads that you can take a more leisurely and scenic way to get out there for sure. And then up to DC, let's say things are looking really rotten on 95. Well, I want to definitely say that the true traffic for Virginia as you're going up to DC really doesn't start until Fredericksburg. We don't have traffic problems down here in Richmond because they planned things correctly. And we have great growth, but not astronomical growth. So it's something that a lot of people are going to enjoy for sure. In fact, the average commute time for most people that live in Richmond, Virginia, it's 21 minutes or less. I'd say that's pretty great. And the thing is, those are 21 minutes that you're actually moving, not sitting in traffic. It's the great thing about Richmond is you have the best of all worlds. If you want to live in the city, but you don't want to be in an overwhelming city that is astronomically expensive, the parking is horrible, and the traffic is awful, Richmond is a great option for you. The awesome thing is too, is if you want to be out in the suburbs and have a little bit more elbow room or what have you, you've got that too. If you want to be somewhere a little bit more rural, if you have horses and you want to have land to do that, you have absolutely so many different options out there in Hanover and also over in Goochland and Powhatan. And so, you know, when you are talking about places to move and people that what they really love in Richmond is the culture and the entertainment that we have here. Our museum district, even if you're not someone that you're like, oh, I want to go to museums all the time, you're going to love the museums that we have. The Virginia Museum of Fine Arts is fabulous. There's great little places to eat. Being out in the lawn they have those red reeds that you sit by, awesome backdrops for pictures, and just beautiful place to go in the spring. I love the exhibits that come through, very interesting. So you have very classic, very modern, and then kind of ever-changing and looking at art in so many different ways. The History Museum down there, the Science Museum are beautiful. And the thing is, these buildings are just beautiful on the outside without you going into, that it's just beautiful to look across at all the pretty architecture and see people, you know, the school trips posing along the steps and just seeing it in all the different seasons that I really, really love for sure. You've got the Altria Theater, and we have a very, very active theater district and amazing big name plays that come through that you're really going to enjoy. And it's nice that you don't have to fight yourself traffic-wise up to DC or even to New York. You can enjoy Broadway right here. You are very, very convenient to big amusement parks like Kings Dominion, right up the road. You've got things down in Williamsburg right there, Busch Gardens, Water Country, and also Great Wolf Lodge, which is awesome in the wintertime when it's yucky outside, that you can still enjoy fun with the family in the water. I would be remiss if I didn't talk about the Lewis Ginter Botanical Gardens in Henrico. Beautiful. They light it all up for the holidays with lights that you can all walk through. They're doing great exhibits during the summertime. They do like all the live butterflies in the one particular area, which I love. The best place to go with your kids would be Maymont. Beautiful park right there in Richmond, and they have the petting zoo part of it. Great place that you will be many times while you live in Richmond with any of your kids' field trips, but it's a really fun place to go check out no matter what time of year it is. If you like food, Richmond is the spot for you. Sure, you've got all your big chain places that you can find everywhere. Sure, you can find all sorts of small mom and pop and chain barbecue places here. We're in the South after all. But there are some things that are very unique about the area that I've always enjoyed. For instance, the Jefferson Hotel, which is a historic landmark, but places that you can still stay to this day. One thing I've always enjoyed there on many occasions is that they offer high tea. Now you may go, you don't sound like you are British. I am not, but I am a prissy little girl who loved tea parties through and through, and so it's fun to be able to enjoy that as an adult. So high tea at the Jefferson is no joke. You are going to walk out of there stuffed. Even a guy that has a hefty appetite, you're going to have plenty in your belly. So even though they're all a bunch of little cute tea sandwiches and they are absolutely adorable, they are so delicious. There are a bunch of them. Then plus you get all your little cakes and petit fours as well. Sure, you do have your tea. Even if you're not a tea drinker, it's still fun to do that. And it's just these beautiful plates that they have things on, all tiered, and you feel very fancy when they're bringing your tea. And of course, you're sitting at this cute little table in these beautiful wingback chairs and looking on this beautiful historic hotel, and just a beautiful and lovely way to enjoy high tea. If you like to brunch, you are going to love Richmond. We have brunch spots all over the suburbs and definitely all over the city. So many different times that I've gone out with girlfriends and met them, gone out with their family for special events or what have you. I can think of one in particular that I went to recently with a girlfriend, and we went and had brunch, and they had the most amazing, which I had never had before. I think it was cranberry mimosas. You should try it. They're delicious and they go down real easily. And thankfully what we had planned afterwards was to go explore all the different graffiti, the purposeful graffiti on all the buildings throughout there, so we got to walk up our buzz, but that was a lot of fun. And the number one reason people are moving to Richmond has to do with it is so stinking easy to get to and from this spot. You don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, I've moved to this little teeny city and I still need to commute for my job to Seattle, to Washington, New York City, to overseas. Doesn't matter. We have a great little international airport that is super easy to get to. Forget all those ones that you have to time what time of day it is. It is easy to get in and out. Day, night, doesn't matter when it is. Cheap to park at, and there's nothing better than starting your travels or ending your travels at an easy airport to navigate, for sure. We have the train that runs to and fro. You can actually come right into Ashland and take it right into DC and actually up into other big cities like Boston and DC. I think that is a phenomenal thing to do. It's just really, really easy to get around here and to get to and from. So definitely, if you have places that you need to be, do not be scared to move to Richmond, Virginia. In fact, you're going to thank yourself for doing that. So there you have it, the 7 reasons people are moving to Richmond, Virginia. Thank you so much for tuning in, and remember, leave everything better. Once again, if this is your first time to our channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living in Richmond, Virginia, hit the like button, hit subscribe, and hit that bell too so you're notified every time we release a new video.